Today I took 3 trades, one break even, one loser, and one kind of winner. This would have worked out all the way to my target, but I took it off early. Emotional mistake, maybe? Mm, Mainly because of this trade here, but also I think I had valid reasons. I just would have had more of a risk tolerance if I did not take this trade, but it eventually hit my target. So yesterday or Thursday, pivot relationships we formed were overlapping lower, and then on CPR it was lower and overlapping lower also on the cams. And today we're opening inside this in volume node again, high volume node. This was the high volume ledge here for 75.69, also at 81, and a more significant one at 76.01. So those are kind of levels I want to short. It did reject at 75.69 overnight also, so thought that was a decent level to short. This one had confluence with supply at 75.81, so I want to short that also. But then again, we're opening above value, just above H3, although it was kind of bouncing around in that range, completely ignoring that level, so don't know if that was the best level. But since we are opening above value, I want to long value area high. And if we do break out of this high volume node ledge and H3 and rally up all the way to this area, I wanted a break and retest of 75.69 all the way to 76.01. So that's what I was looking at. Long here, a break and retest of maybe around the 69 to 59 range. So break and retest and then long to 76.01. If not, I want to short here and short the supply. But I did say in my pre-market plan that I'd rather be focused on longs because it is opening above value. And I'd rather want to use these as targets rather than shorting it there. So market opens up, and I actually take the short right off of this high volume node ledge. I was wondering whether or not I should, but because I really wanted to take this value area high long, but I did see some good confirmations, so decided to take it. So initially, market rallies up, and then forms a nice 2-minute delta divergence here. So candle ends negative, while delta is positive. So I'm looking for a retest back into this kind of a P-shape area here. Also seeing if CVD would break the highs and form a CVD hidden divergence, and it does. It breaks the highs, and you see that P shape right there with the POC at the highs, right where the POC is at for the 2-minute candle also. I like the CVD hidden divergence, the P shape, initial rejection, retest, and then now I'm seeing some sort of delta divergence on the 20 range chart, and also on the 2-minute. So I entered one contract here, but it seemed like I was just going to keep rallying, forming a 2-minute delta divergence here, but it wasn't really doing well. So 1-minute delta divergence still forms. I like this hidden divergence structure, but it seemed like it was just going to rally up. But that got squashed real quick, and luckily it came back down and formed a 20 range delta divergence here. So I'm liking it even more now. I probably could have put my stop above here now, but I don't think I did. And then it just started going down a bit. At this point, we're pretty much at 2R, and I want to see if I can, form a lower high before I put my stop at break even. Break even is 67. And it does form a lower high and breaks the low, so I put my stop at 64 now. Trailing on the 20 range, I think, is the way to go. We'll see later too on that. But yeah, it comes into value area high, and then my 3R was 75.49. But honestly, I don't know. This is the technical target, and there's nothing under it, so maybe I should have just taken it off there, but thought maybe it could run for a little bit more, break under these 51s, and then maybe on momentum hit it and then bounce, but that didn't happen. And it bounced pretty much right at value area high here, 52 and a half. So one, it already hit 2R, and honestly, I probably should have taken my stop down to here at 64, which would give me about 3 points of profit. But I wanted to see if it can reject after bouncing again. But then again, it already hit formed a lower low, so it shouldn't technically come back up. But I don't know. I thought maybe it could, so I had it just at break even, and then never did. So right at value area high, it formed a B shape, came back, retested this B shape, held, formed another B shape, and then started going back up and stopped me out at break even. So now I'm kind of thinking about longs. So it is a value area high bounce, and that's what I really wanted, right? So I'm looking at a bounce. Because it is bouncing, I'm looking at a pullback for me to take long. But also, I'm getting very confused because here it is showing signs of rejection. It is forming a RSI normal divergence here as it broke the highs. I just didn't. I wasn't sure. It's one of those situations where I see both longs and short confirmations and long and short thesis, and that's really when things don't go well because I don't know which direction to take. And I can't really read the market in either direction. So in that case, I should just probably stay out of it. But because I really wanted to take this value area high long, and that was my preferred thesis this morning, I decided that I want to try for longs here. So it's breaking highs. I'm saying maybe it's a short opportunity here. It's RSI normal divergence. Like I want to take a short here because it formed a shooting star, but I really didn't see anything on the tape, honestly, that pointed towards shorts. So I'm just kind of going back and forth between shorts and longs here. And what I did not realize was that there was 7 a.m. news, and we were nearing 7 a.m. news. It was about 3 minutes, and I completely missed that because I was just thinking about whether to go long or short. Was it a value area high bounce, or was it a rejection off of the ledge? So I decided to take a stab at it long here on this pullback. I was forming a 20 range delta divergence. I was almost forming a 2-minute delta divergence. I thought it was decent. There was a nice CVD hidden divergence forming here without breaking the lows. And then on the 1 minute, there was a nice, initially there was a nice 1 minute high volume hammer, and then another one here. And so I liked it in general. I don't think it was the worst setup, but I just didn't realize there was news. So I entered about 30 seconds before news came out, and then news came out and completely wiped me out there. So it's 7 a.m. now. News comes out, boom, stops me out, and then I'm like, ugh, I forgot that there was news. Just didn't realize it was near 7. So then I see that it's forming, it bounces. So it breaks the lows, stops me out, bounces. Starts forming a 2-minute delta divergence here. Right there. So it starts forming 2-minute delta divergence. Nice hammer candle. Selling bounce at the lows, buying bounces come in. Still CVD hidden divergence because it wicked below and now it's back above. CVD hidden divergence here also. 1 minute high volume hammer and then 3 minute high volume hammer. So I really liked it. I just didn't know if I was just being emotional and like just entering again because I got stopped out, but I decided to enter with one contract here because I thought it was basically this is the trade that was supposed to be rather than the trade I took before news. So that's pretty much why I entered. And I kind of lucked out here, I think. It did bounce. So I guess my long thesis was correct here. In that it was a value area high bounce and a breakout. to this ledge over here, and yesterday high, because that was my thesis. Long value area high, target yesterday high. So I had my target at 3R, which was pretty deep inside supply here. And it comes back down, holds, and then goes back up with nice delta or buying imbalances. So yeah, I'm waiting for this to hit 3R, but it's pretty slow. It forms a nice delta divergence here, bullish, and then keeps going up. So once it gets to here, which was high volume node ledge at 75.81 and supply zone, that is my short level, and it starts rejecting, and it rejects with a delta divergence. So 75, 73, breaks above that, goes up to 70, yeah, 80, 81. So it's a nice delta divergence bullish, goes up, 81, hits 81, and then starts rejecting with a nice delta divergence there on the 2-minute and the 20 range chart. And on CVD, it just keeps breaking the highs here and keeps going up, while 1-minute delta divergence is forming, a P shape is forming, 509 positive delta but negative candle. So I'm seeing short confirmations at supply and high volume node ledge, which was also my plan of shorting, and it was moving very slow, so I decided to just take it off early. Was that the right decision? I mean, in hindsight, probably not, because it went and hit my target eventually, but at the time I thought it was at the time I thought it was decent, because it was my short level, it was showing short confirmations here. I didn't like that at all, and it did kind of sell off, but not enough, obviously. And I could have had my stop here, but instead of there, I put it here at 74 and stopped out there when it rejected. If I just had it here, it would have bounced out this demand, intraday demand, and went up to my target. I think what also affected me was that I took a loss earlier on this, so I felt like I shouldn't give up my profits. I'm already break even on the day, and I didn't want to go down to negative again. I just didn't have enough confidence in this to say that to put on additional risk of not taking profits and trying to let it run for more, even though it's at a good technical level, technical target. So yeah, took it off early. Would have gotten 13 more points out of that if I just held, but thesis was right, so I guess that's good. I need like an alarm from news or something. I just did not realize it was almost 7 a.m. So yeah, and this one I could have maybe taken it off at value high. I don't know, but things worked out. It just didn't execute very well.